We went to all ministries and departments and agencies to see what is their share in the budget and how do we secure the National Assembly's support so that by the next budget we can tell Nigerians what we received, how we use it according to the budget, and the balance. We are very proud of making our balance sheet available to the whole nation. We have nothing to hide.
About 260 road projects he inherited. No contractors were inside, but he mobilized contractors, and most of those roads have been finished, and he added more roads, and you can see what is happening. But elites are not talking about that. He gets far less of the money they get, and yet he completed the projects that they could not complete. That is one. Two, when we came in, 27 states were not paying salaries. Some have been arrears for months together. But he bailed all the states out, and they pay arrears of all the salaries and continue to pay salaries up to today. In addition to that, he gave each state 10 billion naira for infrastructure. We call it infrastructure loan that all the state gets. And in addition to that, when oil prices still continue to be down, he gave us what we call budget support. And that is 1 billion naira a month for about 10 months.
A look at security. The new Chief of Defence Staff, Major General Lucky Rabo, says the present service will have come with renewed vigor and determination to address the lingering security challenges, promising that military operations will be made in such a way to ensure quick restoration of peace. The CDS stated this when he led the newly appointed service chiefs on an operational visit to Maiduguri, the Borno state capital. Maimuna Garba report.
The Chief of Defence Staff, Major General Lucky Erabo, in company of Chief of Army Staff, Major General Ibrahim Attahiru, Chief of Air Staff, Air Vice Marshal Isiaka Oladayo Amao, and Chief of Naval Staff, Rear Admiral Awal Zubairu Gambo, arrived Maiduguri for the first operational visit less than a week from their appointment by the President. The visit by the service chiefs was to assess the security situation in the northeast region with a view to addressing it. Hence, they met with various commanders for briefing at the Military Command and Control Center, Operation Lafia Dole. While intimating Governor Babagana Umara Zulum on the purpose of their visit, General Erabo assured to actively engage other security operatives in routing the insurgents and appealed for understanding and support of the citizenry to enable them conclude the task. Governor Babagana Umara Zulum emphasized the need for continued and sustained military operations in order to stabilize the region and called for the presence of maritime component on the shores of the Lake Chad.
Effective collaboration with our neighbors is very critical because the war has taken an international dimension.
Meanwhile, the Chief of Defence Staff has addressed troops where he delivered the President's message that their welfare is his priority and assured to improve on the operational engagement, urging them to continue with their gallantry.
There's going to be a new focus on the operation, and I would like to assure the general public that the team spirit that exists amongst the troops in the theater is what will be fostered to meet the operational objectives.
Major General Lucky Erabo had used the visit to debunk rumors of Chibok girls escaping from the custody of the insurgents. They visited wounded soldiers receiving treatment at 7th Division Hospital. The service chiefs had sought the fatherly blessings of the Shehu of Borno, Abubakar Ibn Umar Garbe Al-Amin El-Kenemi, and assured him to do everything within their powers to restore lasting peace to Borno. Responding, the Shehu assured them of traditional rulers and Borno citizenry's unwavering support to end the insurgency. In Maiduguri, Maimuna Garba, NTA News.
In the meantime, Senate President Ahmed Lawan says the National Assembly will exhibit high sense of responsibility and patriotism while conducting a confirmation hearing for the newly appointed service chiefs. Speaking to State House correspondent Adamu Sambo in Daura, Senator Lawan said this is to ensure that the appointees have all it takes towards dismantling prevailing obstacles to national security and stability for a greater Nigeria.
Requesting the Senate to confirm his appointment of the service chiefs, and when the Senate resumes from the 9th of February, we should be able to undertake that exercise very quickly, because this is something that will not don't have to be delayed at all, even though it's not in our character to delay anything.
What are you going to look at in the confirmation hearing?
Well, I believe that the professionalism is the most important thing. These are people that are supposed to have gone through the mills. They have been there in various positions of responsibilities, and I believe that our committees, the committees will screen and see how fit they are for these positions, and I'm sure that our committees will do a very thorough and proper job.
Those that have worked in the words almost of President, they have done their best, and we feel there is need for them to shift and allow younger ones with maybe more ideas to move forward. So we look forward to this that I knew doing better, so that Nigeria's security will improve.
What we expect them is to work closely with the executive governors, because the executive governors know the problems of their state and they know the problems of their people, and they know the black spots that are existing in their states. So if they work closely with the executive governors, I think they will be able to be on the right footing, and they will get their direction very early. And I wish them good luck for that.
In Kebbi State, Governor Abubakar Atiku Bagudo has assented to some bills, including those on kidnapping and rape. A statement by the Attorney General and Commissioner for Justice, Hajiya Ramatu Adamugulma, said with the assent, it is now a death sentence under Section 247 of the law in Kebbi State for kidnapping, and life imprisonment for rape are stated in Section 259, subsection 1 of the law in the state. Other bills that have become laws are the establishment of College of Nursing Birnin Kebbi, Adamu Augie, College of Education, Argungu, and that of Revenue Generation. On Peace Talk, Kaduna-based Islamic scholar Sheikh Ahmed Mahmoud Gumi has reached out to another group of headers in Chikun local government area of the state on the need to lay down their arms and embrace legal and sustainable initiatives. Suleiman Abdullahi Rugachukun reports that this is in continuation of his engagement with headsmen and rural dwellers.
It was a journey of 25 kilometers to Ruga Malam Sali, a Fulani settlement in Chikun local government area by Sheikh Ahmed Mahmoud Gumi and his entourage, including representative of renowned Sheikh Dahir Usman Bauchi.
Our main concern now is those perpetrating crimes among headers. Let us form ourselves into committees to de-radicalize them. We must give priority to education of our wards.
The visit, like the previous four, saw verbal commitment and strong determination to de-radicalize the youths, encourage them to seek knowledge and vocational skills. Speakers at various settlements agreed to give peace a chance, surrender their arms, and give Sheikh Gumi the benefit of doubt as he expands the discourse to relevant quarters. Sheikh Gumi presented copies of books with a pledge to provide the communities with school, health facility, and vocational training center for women and youths. Suleiman Abdullahi Rigachkun, NTA News.
Let's take you now to Akwa Ibom State, where we hear that the state governor, Odom Emmanuel, has unveiled an indigenous shipyard in Oruk Anam local government area of the state. Susanna Sukwa reports.
In August 2020, the federal government approved the license for establishment of Liberty Oil and Gas Free Zone for Akwa Ibom State. In line with this commitment to boost the maritime sector as the state launches into the Ibom Deep Sea Port project, Governor Odom Emmanuel has inaugurated a shipyard to further boost investment in the sector to build ships, barges, fishing trawlers, and security escort vessels. While unveiling the multi-million naira shipyard, Governor Emmanuel said his industrialization drive is not only to boost the economy of the state, but also provide employment for the people.
The first group of people outside Akwa Ibom State government that we are going to sign a contract for a trawler, I think should be the security agencies in Nigeria.
Minister of State for Power, Godi Jedi Agba, who represented the Secretary to Government of the Federation, assured the state of federal government's readiness to give the needed support.
On behalf of the federal government, we are sure that we will partner with this community, with this company, and provide as much as is required from our side to make it work.
High point of the event was the inauguration of a 9-meter fast security escort vessel built at the shipyard in Oruganam local government area of Akwa Ibom State. Susan Asukwo, NTA News.
On the global scene, the world has begun to react to the military coup in Myanmar. Details with Justin Bemunyi.
Myanmar's army seized power in an apparent coup on Monday, detaining the de facto leader Aung San Suu Kyi, along with members of her party, and declared a state of emergency for at least 1 year, signaling an end to the Southeast Asian nation's nascent democratic experiment. The military-owned Miyawadi TV confirmed the coup hours later, citing fraud in the country's elections held last November, in which Suu Kyi's party, National League for Democracy, won in a landslide. Nobel Peace Prize winner Suu Kyi still reveled in her country despite losing some of her international luster for her refusal to condemn the Myanmar army's atrocities against the Rohingya Muslim minority. Is understood to have had a tentative shared power agreement with the military since she came to power in 2015, offering the government a veneer of democratic legitimacy as they embarked on a decade of reforms. She has urged her supporters not to accept coup but protest against it. In the meantime, the world has started reacting to this development as Malaysia called on all parties to resolve any electoral dispute peacefully. United Nations Secretary General Antonio Guterres strongly condemned the detention of the country's civilian leaders. He expressed grave concern about the declaration that all legislative, executive, and judicial powers have been transferred to the military. Similarly, the U.S. Secretary of State Antony Blinken expressed grave concern in a statement and urged the military to reverse its actions immediately. The U.S. called on the military leaders to release all government officials and civil society leaders and respect the will of the people of Burma as expressed in democratic elections on November 8th. In a related development, the Rohingya community has condemned the military power grab. Its leader, Dil Mohammed, described the coup as a heinous attempt to kill democracy. Meanwhile, Human Rights Watch Asia Advocacy Director John Sifton urged the U.S. and other countries to send a strong message to the military by imposing direct sanctions, just as European Council President Charles Michel condemned the military's seizure of power in Myanmar and demanded that it release all those it had detained in raids across the country. China said it hoped that all sides in Myanmar could properly manage their differences under the constitution and legal framework and uphold stability after the military seized power in a coup. And the United Kingdom's Prime Minister Boris Johnson joined the chorus of voices who have condemned the latest developments in Myanmar, as India's Ministry of External Affairs said it was concerned about the latest developments, adding that it was closely watching the situation. Justin Bemunyi.
All right, you're watching Panorama. Let's go on a break. We're back. Stay tuned.
For now, the best and most efficient way to avoid getting infected is through regular hygienic and sanitary practices, as well as social distancing. As individuals, we remain the greatest weapon to fight this pandemic. By washing our hands regularly with clean water and soap, disinfecting frequently used surfaces and areas, coughing into a tissue or elbow, and strictly adhering to infection prevention control measures in health facilities, we can contain this virus.
Coronavirus is real. Steps to avoid this pandemic. Wash your hands regularly. or sanitize your hands. Keep social and physical distancing. Avoid crowded places. Stay at home unless absolutely necessary. Don't touch your eyes, nose, or mouth if your hands are not clean. Avoid the spread of coronavirus. Coronavirus is real.
Welcome back. Let's bring you an update on COVID-19. The Nigeria Center for Disease Control has confirmed 685 new cases of COVID-19 in the country. The new cases indicates that Lagos has 355, Kaduna 58, Nasarawa 46, Kano 40, Akwa Ibom 33, Katsina 26, Ogun 25, Osun 21, others are Rivers 16, Edo 15, Oyo 13, Ondo 12, Borno 11, Ekiti 9, Kebbi 3, and Plateau 2. This brings the total number of confirmed cases to 131,242. 104,989 have been discharged and 1,586 deaths recorded. Meanwhile, the presidency is appealing to Nigerians to comply with the just-signed executive order, which makes wearing of mask and observation of social distancing in the public mandatory, noting that President Muhammadu Buhari introduced the order with the best of intention and not with any motive to punish citizens. In a statement, the presidency appeals to relevant social actors to play active roles in the sensitization and enforcement of the order, to avoid crude methods that may create resistance and resentment, thereby defeating the primary goal of the executive order. The Buhari administration, the statement says, is not reluctant to lock down the country and continues to emphasize the non-pharmaceutical measures. Though vaccine availability is within reach, the propensity of the public for non-compliance weakens the fight against the virus. Well, as part of new measures to contain spread of coronavirus in the second wave, the Kano State government has inaugurated some 2,000 environmental and community health workers. Let's hear more from Abdullahi Mustafa.
The formation and inauguration of COVID-19 control marshals were part of decisions taken during a series of meetings with stakeholders against the resurgence of the pandemic in Kano State. This is to strengthen risk communication and other infection prevention and control strategies.
Many people are dying, and we cannot wait and see the continuous spread of this pandemic among our population.
The need for more sensitization and enforcement was stressed in presentations by the Technical Response Team's chairman and other speakers, showing increase in positivity, severity, and fatality rates.
Between November, December, January, we have seen increase in the number of deaths due to COVID-19 in Kano.
Heads of security agencies and traditional leaders assured of support towards successful execution of the COVID-19 control marshal's assignment. In Kano, Abdullahi Mustafa, NTA News.
The National Drug Law Enforcement Agency, Murtala Mohammed International Airport Command, has seized the largest singular hard drugs substance weighing over 26 kilograms with a value of 7 billion naira. Now, this was during operations where 7 suspects were arrested in connection with this unlawful act. Abolade Salami reports.
Its avowed determination not to give room for the use or trafficking of hard drugs in and out of the country, the National Drug Law Enforcement Agency set in motion mechanism to detect and identify persons who violate or abuse laws prohibiting the use of illicit substances. In the light of this, the Murtala Mohammed International Airport Command in January made a total seizure of 36.200 kilograms of cocaine and heroin, alongside the arrest of 5 suspects. The eagle-eyed surveillance approach adopted by officers and men of the command led to the arrest of these suspects, who had in their possession various sizes of cocaine and heroin.
Again, there was a detained bag that came on Ethiopian Airlines. The passenger came and the luggage was abandoned. And so they started making effort from outside to see how they are going to retrieve the bag. So a sting operation was planned and we are able to arrest 3 people. We are still on the lookout for other people that conspired with them.
However, of the 7 suspects arrested, comprising 5 males and 2 females, the command revealed that a suspect has excreted 68 wraps, while the 26.850 kilograms concealed and sewn in a duvet was uncovered.
I really don't know too much about it. I was just focusing on the 4,000 euro that was promised.
I've never found myself, never seen myself like this.
The drug control strategy adopted by the command, the commander said, is in line with the directive of the chairman on a mission against drug traffickers. In Lagos, Abolade Salami, NTA News.
More than 3,500 women from the 20 local government areas of Ogun State have received 20,000 naira each under the federal government's special grant for rural women. Lekon Agbonde has details.
At the flag-off ceremony of the ongoing federal government cash grant for rural women in Ogun State, the Minister of Humanitarian Affairs, Disaster Management and Social Development, Sadiya Umar Farouk, who was represented, said the disbursement is intended to sustain the social inclusion agenda of the President Muhammadu Buhari-led administration. She explained that the one-off grant will no doubt create the needed financial support for the poor and vulnerable in the society to scale the poverty bracket in the next 10 years.
Since its introduction in 2016, Your Excellency, the Social Investment Program has impacted positively on the lives of the poor and vulnerable in Nigeria, as over 12 million households have benefited from NSIP interventions in the last 5 years.
The beneficiaries, while appreciating the federal government for the support, said the grant will definitely improve their living standards.
I really want to appreciate and thank the federal government for the assistance, because this will go a long way in ensuring that our means of livelihood is sustained, particularly in this COVID-19 period.
The state government expressed gratitude to the federal government for initiating programs targeting the empowerment of the rural women in the country. In Abeokuta, Lekon Agbonde, NTA News.
Talking sports, federal government pledges support to Nigeria Rowing, Canoeing and Sailing Federation. Ayodeji Makinde has details.